What's up, everybody? I'm really excited to bring to you today my built-out Harvest Jack. So I just fused him, I think, this morning, and I powered him up to 60, got him full gear, plus 16 everything, got him to full Masteries as well, and I didn't put skill books into him, but wanted to see what he was like in a real sort of end game scenario. Just sometimes it's really hard to tell with these champs what they're going to do until you really see them with full gear, fully built, rather than just looking at the skills, since we don't have the numbers or anything. So I know people have been kind of speculating about him in some of the dungeons. I was excited to think about him in Fire Knight. I tried him out a little bit, and it wasn't that exciting, actually. I think I discovered some other team comps when I was trying to make him work that were much better, that did include him. But what I was most excited about was to see him in the arena. So I made a video earlier this week talking about some comps that I've been running that have a good chance at winning without just relying on going first and just speed nuking. And so I think he plays right into that, which is really exciting. I think that he fits really well into the comp that I was running. He brings a lot of extra utility to the table, and I think he's actually really strong here. So we're going to go through, show you a little bit of how I geared him, how I put the masteries, and then we're just going to go through a couple of games. They're not all of them most challenging because I did this all today. So we'll look to collect some more footage over the coming week and see him in some really tight spots. So hope you enjoy. All right, let's take a look at him. So I'll click through the gear pretty quickly. I don't think there's anything too exciting about my approach here. He needs a lot of stats. I think for arena, you want resist, accuracy, crit damage, HP, speed, pretty much everything. So I was just looking to pick up, without ripping gear from other folks, just the most efficient pieces that I had. A couple interesting choices that I did is I went crit rate on the gloves just to gear him out easier, as well as resistance on the chest. Look through, I didn't put any skill books into him. We might have some extra, might be fun to see how much he scales with them. And then on the mastery side, I have one left to do here, but the big things are I got resist. Sniper is huge for him, as well as the counterattack mastery. It's a 25% chance on his A1 to steal a buff and place the fear. So having an extra 5% per hit really adds up and is a big deal. All right, going for some early impressions on Jack in the arena. I think we'll try out a couple of just setups to see how hard he can nuke. The gear is not that impressive right now. I think we're at near 100% crit chance and 130% crit damage, 55k HP. So with the defense down on weekend, this is a pretty weak team. We hit 20, 25k. It's okay. Could be better. Try out another one of these. So we're just going to try and set up the same thing again. There's nothing synergistic or interesting about this comp except for it's what I normally run with Ray as a nuker, but having Harvest Jack in here just to see how hard this thing hits. And yeah, similar, 16k. Ooh. So definitely not a nuker. I mean, even if I doubled that crit damage, if he's hitting AoEs for 35, 40k with a defense down in a weekend, that's nothing. Let's look at Ray. So my Ray is also better geared, but nothing that incredible. And this is another shitty team, so it doesn't really matter. But we'll get these things up and let's see how hard her A2 hits on these. So we're gonna get 20k. No, we get 180. So much different. So you can see the difference in damage against this quality of teams. So I don't think this guy looks like it'll be anything interesting. I want to get a couple of fights where you see, yeah. All right, this is not great, but at least they have something a little better going for them. So this is the team comp that I had in mind. It's similar to what I'm running with Roz and Double Skull Crown and Valkyrie as a counter comp. So if you go second, there's counterattack masteries on all these champions and the counterattack buff. Get the resists across the board because of the resist lead. Valkyrie cuts in front of all that. Unfortunately, Rosin counters first there, which is not great. But then we have the Jack comes in, steals the unkillable, which is pretty cool. It's that's the type of stuff where I think he'll be useful. He's pretty tanky. He does a little bit of damage, enough to not completely ignore him. He has some utility. The fear comes up pretty decently often on the A1, and then his ability to either strip an attack buff on the enemy team or put to sleep or fear the entire team is is pretty fun. So again, like where I think he'll be useful is in a comp like this against a decently tanky team, someone else who's running like an AoE counterattack or heavy block damage like Roche Card or anything like that. Having an extra strip on top of your Rosin, where I'm sacrificing a little bit of damage by not having the second Skull Crown, but also very tanky, also lots of utility. So that's what we're going for. So we'll get a couple more in here and see if we can see anything else interesting out of this character. This actually might be a difficult fight depending on how high the accuracy on the array is. I think I have close to 300 resist on most of these champs, but he got the defense down onto him, and I think I resisted the strip, but even through the shield, I just died there. That kind of sucks. So probably not going to win this one. We'll see if we get lucky. But yeah, I think this goes to show why I still need some more gear and still need, I think, like the Great Hall and the meta to develop a bit more, in that even when you have a pretty tanky character, you know, I have 60k HP and a lot of resist. I didn't have like a defense buff or anything like that, and they do have an attack buff on the other side, but we just got one shot at tanky champ. He did have a defense break, so I think that if I'd had a little higher resist, then I wouldn't have died to that. And we'll see. We'll try and kill the Ray. I think there's like a very small chance. I think if I got the I think the Arbiter already wasted the res, and if I kill the Ray here, they don't really have a lot of damage. But oh, we left it with the silver health, so that's not happening. This is gonna be a loss. That's okay. We'll see what it's like when he gets completely shit all over. So more resist, I think, will let him live through that stuff. You know, a little more speed would have let me win as well, but that's not the point of this comp. So there's one other comp here, one other team that looks interesting. Similar setup with Array. We'll see if we get lucky with the strips. We see the double jealousy proc from Valkyrie, so lets me cut in. So there are two fast people went off, but the two nukers did not. I get to do the turn meter deplete, and let's try out. We'll strip the attack buff, let ourselves a little bit longer, and then hit with Skull Crown. And then I don't know if you noticed yet, but I'm using the Skull Crown in this comp that has my stun set and a little bit less damage. Not really sure which one's better here, but just playing around with this with this kind of like less damage and more utility in there. So nice thing about the high resist. Resisted pretty much everything, and then we stole the unkillable. Hell yeah. That's the type of stuff that I'm looking to see from this character. And we'll get 3 True Fears up, so I don't have to book, so I think that's a 75% chance. Get all the resists again, and I think at this point we might just be outgearing this team. It would be interesting to see if we weren't resisting 100% everything and getting a triple stun there. I think one was already stunned, but having all 3 stunned and all 3 feared is pretty hilarious. And then we should just be able to clean up this team comp. See for fun if we get any more of these steals up. But you can imagine with the counterattack from Valkyrie or the counterattack from his Masteries, combined with that A1 ability stripped and Rosin doing the same thing. There's a fear. Nice. We can get that buff strip to power through some of these tankier teams with like the block damage and the defense up. So I think that's all the interesting teams we have for now. We're out of tokens. Be excited to play more with this champ and gear him out further. I had a lot of 5-star gear on him, but did want to kind of get a take at what he looks like in some decently endgame PvP with some real gear on him, and pretty much full masteries and level 60. So hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to play more with this guy, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.